And hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I will be talking about creating your own hacking kind of like simulator in C++. Now if my PC is a little bit slow, excuse me, I am installing Debian on the side, so just excuse me on that. So let me just show you an example of what we'll be coding. So let's go and run out. So here it just says welcome to your terminal. You can change that. You can change anything here. Everything will be so changeable. Don't worry. If you don't like something, you can change it. So then I can like go set u imp else, and I can be like login user / root force to do cool, and then boom, it gives me everything I need. And then I'm like, cool, I like that. So let me just say something like log out, and then I can go hack user gov pass is something like 187 pass or whatnot. Boom, you are about to hack the government. Continue. Then you can be like yes, and remember everything here you can change. I'm just going to show you the basics, like coloring the text, getting the output to be easy and stuff like that, and then you can just like go like that. So you can change the storyline of this, you can do whatever you want. I just found this to be pretty cool because I wanted to copy what they have in Mr. Robot, the hacking series I started watching recently. I wanted to do something like that, just to show people that like what they do in the movies is actually freaking easy, because this is all they do. So let's actually get started with that. So I'm just going to go to a folder here and see what folder can I go into. I can go into YT. What's in here? Can I make my own mkdir, and I can say something such as hacking sim. And it's hacking. Of course, you can just make your own folder with a GUI and stuff. I don't like working with the outside of the terminal because it's gross. Anyways, so then we can just create one file or two. It depends on how you want to use it. We're going to create a namespace. So if you want to create a file specifically for a namespace, which it's not going to be that difficult, don't get too crazy about it, then you can. But I'm just going to go main.cpp because that's all I need. Also, I do not know how great this will work on Windows. It will probably work fine on Mac and any other Linux operating system. I don't know if Mac is Linux. It probably is because it uses the terminal, but I don't know. Anyways, so if you use Linux, it will be fine. If you use Windows, you might need to tweak it a little bit, but otherwise I think it should work everywhere. And I'm going to compile it with G++ for anyone wondering. And then I'm just going to say code and open it in the Visual Studio Code, because why not? It's easy. So first thing you want to do is you want to set up your basic C++ programs. Just hashtag include. So let's just make sure everything works. So let's go std cout test std endl. We're first going to make sure everything works and that we have C++ perfectly installed and whatnot. So C++ and just say main.c++ -o, and we can just say output or whatever you want to call the output file. Do that, it's going to compile it. Okay, so now we can just run the output file and see if it works. It does. So now for future reference we can just go and /output. So now it's going to run the output as well after it has compiled it. Easy, quick, no problem. So let's get started. First I want to create the namespace, because that's going to be the more annoying thing to do, because namespace creation is just, I don't like it. So the namespacing is basically going to do the coloring for us, because doing coloring manually is difficult as hell. But if we would have something like a little bit of procedure that does it for us, well, why not use it? So we're going to use namespace to create our own color namespace. So namespace, and we can call it color. Now you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it color because it makes it easy. Then we're going to create an enum. Now here's where you can we can just say code because it's going to stand for color code. Here's where you can maybe compromise a little bit, because we're going to have a bunch of coloring, but we actually only need two. We need FG blue for foreground blue, or you can just call it blue, because if you're just going to change the foreground color, then blue would actually work fine. So let's just use blue, and we can equal that to 34, and then we have FG default, or just default, and we can equal that to 39, and then that's fine. If you just want to do this, it's perfectly fine with that. If you want to do this, because this is all you'll need if you're going to do exactly what I did. But I'm going to add more, because if you want to make it more beautiful, to look better in your eyes, then I recommend you actually do the same. So FG blue for foreground. FG foreground basically just means we're going to be coloring the text itself, not the background. So here the foreground color is supposed to be blue, but because I'm using the deepen terminal, it actually turns into on top of yellowish. And then yeah, the foreground color here is green, and this is background color. You see this background color, it's kind of yellow, kind of makes the foreground yellow a bit difficult to see. If you hover over something and you like drag it, the background color is now a light green. So yeah, you can change the background color if you want as well. Now we have all the color codes. Now we don't have to worry about the color coding, which is very nice. So next up, we are going to create a class that's going to modify the coloring for us. So class, or the output text for us, modifier, and this modifier we can just say private, and why didn't it? Doesn't matter. And we can go code. Oh gosh, code. They're just basically referencing this right here. And we'll do that. And is that? I don't know. It kind of looks gross now. Anyways, then we have public, and here we can have it say, we can have it constructor modifier. In this constructor we'll take in code, and that's going to make it confusing because there's a lot of codes in here. So let's make it p code, because otherwise it's going to get confusing, or underscore code, or whatever you want to make it. And we can go code, because you see it's already very confusing with all the codes. P code. You see what I mean? And then we can just leave it empty, because we don't need to actually do anything right now. Then we can friend, and we can say std. Don't worry, this is the most difficult part. The rest is pretty easy. The namespace is the most difficult. If you can't understand everything, it's fine. Then o stream, because we need an output stream. I guess reference thingy, I don't know. Operator, and basically yeah, std o stream ampersand os. We want to create a const modifier with an ampersand mod, and in here we can just return os backslash 033, and basically in here is where the coloring is going to go. So we can go mod.code. So this is the color. This is why I said it's much easier to just do this right now, get the difficult part over with, and boom. And I can just put in there, comma m, put that there, and here we go. Okay, so now that we have the difficult part out of the way, because whoo, that was very difficult. Yeah, you know, it just makes me scared each time I look at it. Now we can actually get to the easy things, because wow, that's not nice, you know. So let's start at main. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to get to the system itself. We want to put in some system commands. So if we go here, we want to say like echo hello, or hello, and then world, hey, cool, something like that, for example. Okay, it didn't do what I want to do, but you know, it echoed it out, and that's what we want. We want it to echo out. So we're just going to turn echo off because we want to clear the screen, and if we clear the screen, it might actually display it. So the echo off is kind of optional, but I do recommend using it just always for in case. So system, and we can just say echo off. That's going to disable echo. Echo is basically where this, you know, like if you're running a .sh command, this will basically display if echo is on. So then we'll see, oh, so that was in the sh command. It's going to display it in the terminal. You don't want it to display in the terminal. And you can go system, and we can just say clear. If you're on Windows, it is CLS, not clear. Anyways, and now we can choose our coloring we want to use. So coloring we want to use, and here we can say color. Ooh gosh, nice. Color, and we'll go modifier, and we say blue because we want the color blue. So color, and we can just go FG blue, and now we can color our text blue. Isn't that amazing? So let me just show you. We can actually do it here. So now we can go blue, blue, there we go. Now look at this. So the previous test output was right here. As you can see, here are two of them. It was green. Now if you run it, it doesn't, it even clears the terminal now, and then it's not blue. It is a type of yellow orange. This will be blue for you though. It's not blue for me because I can actually open the normal terminal if you want. Output, and as you can see, it's blue. But it's not blue for me, it's blue for you, but not blue for me because I'm here. And I think this looks pretty cool. So this is how you can now declare our coloring. Because we did this whole namespace and class thing up here, it made our lives 1,000 times easier. Don't you agree? Because just look how easy we made it for us to do this. Anyways, now we can go color and create another color, which is going to be the default color. So we can just call it def for default, and color FG default. So this is to transform the text back to its default coloring state. So we can go here, we can make text blue, and then we can go def, and then we can add more text like hello world. Now if we run this, as you can see, it makes that not normal text, and then that's normal text. If we were to remove this def here, then this entire thing is just going to be the colored text. As you can see right there, we do not want the colored text, so we use a def. So that's how to change between the coloring. So if we go back up here, which we can't, that's great. But yeah, if you go back to the previous lines of code where I showed you how it's going to work, you would have seen that the coloring between the name and the execution differs. Anyways, so then we need to create 2 strings. Depending on what you want to do, you might need to create more than 2 strings. But to me, I don't really need to. So I'm just going to go std string, and I'm going to make it equal, or username, and I'm going to make it equal to whatever you think is a cool hacker username. Hacker at def or something, or hacker at OS, or I don't know, you can just make it something cool. And then we can go std string, and we can create another username for like if you hacked someone. So I'm going to say connected username, and I'm going to say username plus, because we want to add to that username now, and I'm going to say bhk1 YULPDYTRE. If you're wondering what I'm saying right here, we can actually add like a number like 300 or something here to make it look cooler. If you're wondering what I'm actually saying here, I'm not saying anything special. This is just random text. Except for this, that's not random, that should be there. Okay, and after you've done that, now you have your username and your connected username. So if we go here and we say dot slash, and we can go to H and go output. As you can see here, we just boom. This is basically what we did. That right there. And then we can do this in a second. So I'm actually going to copy this. I recommend you do your own or not. I don't really care. But I'm going to copy that because that's going to be a lot of effort to type out later. So first thing I want to do is I want to create something that will like display a message. So we need to create a method. Go here right about main, and we can say void show message. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it show message because it's cool. Then we can go std string for the username and std string message for what message you want to have display, and we can go bool end line. This to like indicate if the line should continue to the next line. Like if we go back here, as you can see, these do not. This one goes to the next line. All of these go to the next line, but these were our input stuff. They don't go to the next line because you need to input it on the same line. So that's why that's there. And we're going to make it by default, so we don't have to constantly enter this. We're going to make it false. And in here, we can also change this coloring and stuff. So color, and we're going to say modifier, and we can make it equal as a default because this is going to be the one color we want to use, like the user color, like the username color. So this right here, this is the user color, that right there. And we're just going to make it a color, and we just go double FG blue. So it's basically just going to be this right here. And then we're going to add another one, and we're going to go modifier, and then we can just say, and this is going to be the text color right here, like that normal default color. So I'm going to call this default color because it's the default color. And I'm going to say equal to color FG default. And I can open it up and go no, and go boom. There you go. So all of these basically have their default values. I don't have to continuously insert them, and I don't have to copy paste or make anything global, because global variables are kind of no. So now let's continue. So first we have to check if it should like go to the next line. So if, and if we can just go end line, if end line. So if it has to go to the next line, then we can go std cout, and we can go user color. This is to change the color of the username. Username, and we can make a space to give it a nice formatting. Then we can switch back to default color. You can change when you want the default coloring and the other color. You can even change to what coloring should happen here. So some text might have red coloring or whatever. You can go crazy. This is really up to you. So username, add all that. So default color, and then we want the message, and yeah, then we just want to end the line std end out. So what is if the else statement then? If there is no end line? Well, if there is no end line, then we don't need the end line. So you just do that. So yeah. Also, if you want, you can make the default message, you can make that equal to nothing. that's optional. Anyways, so now we have show message, so let's actually use it. So down here we can go show message, and we can say username, and then we need to enter a message. Let's say hacking the government, boom. And then if we go back here and we compile our things, and you can see hacking the government. And if you want this to go to the next line, all you gotta do is you just gotta go true. And then if you try it again, it's going to go to the next line. So yeah, that is optional. So that's just the displaying the message part, because that's pretty easy. But now, what if we need user input, you know, like, of course we can just use getLine or CIN, but you know, like, I feel it will be much easier and much quicker if we just used something else, if you want me to be honest, because so yeah, let's go underneath show message. Then you can go void, and we can go get input, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call it get input std, and we can go string. In fact, if you want, you can even copy this, and that will save you a lot of time, because you're basically getting the same input. The only difference is that this message will now have a default value. So yeah. Okay, so and we don't need an end line. We don't need this anymore, because if we get input, why would we want to go to the next line actually? Or I guess you can put it there, but you know, I feel it's unnecessary, so I'm not going to do that. We can create a string, which is called temp, because it's literally just a temporary variable we're going to use. We're not actually going to wow, my sentencing. We're not actually going to use it that much, so just bear with me. Then std cout, and we want to say user color, because we want to change the coloring of the stuff. Username, and we want to add a space, and then div color, and then we can go message, and that will basically be our user input. So that's just going to display the beginning of the input. Like if we go here, then it will allow us to put input text here, and we'll just basically print out this, whatever your username will be. You can even like get the username from the user themselves if you want, but that I'm going to leave up to you. I'm not going to do that much effort. We can just say get line, because we want to get the line. If you just say CIN, then we're going to get an error, because CIN it just doesn't, it just gets one word, and that's all you get, one word. And then CIN, and whoopsie, temp. We're just going to store it in temp, because we don't actually need to store it in temp. We're just going to put it there because it's a temporary variable. We don't actually need it, because we're not going to use it. So yeah, now we can get user input. So now we can, like here before show message, we can like say get input, and then we can be like username, and then it needs a message. So then we can go, if you want to put a message, then go example yes no. Yeah, so example yes no, and then we can go here and we can run it. And Python has made me forget about semicolons. Anyways, and then we can run it. And then example yes no, then you can like put your yes no there. And if you don't want a message to display while you're getting user input, you can just remove the message entirely and just say get input username. And that made our life a lot easier, you know. So that's basically the template stuff. You can make your own thing with this. And if you still want more examples on how to use it or make the exact same thing I made, you can keep on watching. But if you have what you need, then go forward. You can even get the code in the description if you want. It's on GitHub. It's free to use it wherever you want. So now let's recreate the one I made. So the one we ran here a couple of times, but I can't get back up to that. So let's do that. So first we can use just get input username, and then we can display a bunch of show messages. And by bunch I mean about 6 show messages with all of their properties set to true. So we can just copy this. We'll see B. How much is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more than 6. We can go here, and here where we have this, we can copy all of these, and there you go. You can align these things if you want. That is optional. And now basically what you can do is you can actually go here and you can run it and see how it looks and see if you like it. So just go boom, and I think there needs to be more spacing here, you know, and I want the username to change as well. So here, instead of username, I'm gonna go connected username, and I'm just gonna go whoopsie daisy Veep. Now it's connected username, and then I want to add more spacing between these. So I'm going to add 1, 2. Add a third one if you want. I'm just going to add 2 because I think it looks good with just 2. Now if we were to run this, and we just press enter, and then boom, there it displays a bunch of beautiful information that doesn't actually make that much sense. And now we can actually go back up here and just delete this. That's nice. So now we're basically halfway done. You can just copy this if you want, like pause the video or whatnot, and then we can get more user input. Let's say the user now wants to log out, so then we can go get input, oh gosh, and then we can go connected user, and then we can just say show message. You can like create an if statement, like if the user is still connected to the guy, and like then there's special command, something does actually happen, and you can make this so cool if you want. But I'm not going to do that because I am not going to go that far for something so basic. Log out and true. So now we can continue. Now let's say we want to like insert some code to hack the government. Then you can get input, and you say username, and then we can go yet again get input, because now we want confirmation. So then we can go username, and we can like you are about to hack the government, or whoever you want to hack. Continue. You know, it's dangerous to hack the government because if they catch you, you go to jail. You know, and it can be like y/n or whatever. You can make it look very, very cool. So then you get the input from the user, and then you can make like a hacking password cracking algorithm. So you can go for, and you can say int I becomes 0. While it is less or equal to 100, I plus equal 20. Okay, so here, I'm not going to use the message thing because I just want to show you can mix it up if you want. You can use show message here, you can just modify stuff and stuff, but I want to show you that you can actually still mix everything if you want to. Because it's the same thing, username, and you go do, and we can go def, because we did put everything right here, so you can still use it here. So you can go hacking, and it's like user, or you can say government, but I'm just gonna say user because it's easy. You can just like add I, and then add a percentage sign, and then add or end line. And There we go. And in here is why we needed this echo off, because if we go here and we're going to say system, of course you can do this in C++, but I found I didn't like C++ as anything that when it comes to term of doing something basic. If it's something not so basic, it's easy, but if it's something basic, it's very difficult. I don't know why. You can just tell the system to sleep once. I don't know if it's the same in Windows. You might need to rethink your strategy here. I don't know, but yeah. And we can just like, if you don't want it to exit immediately, we can go like get input username, and yeah, we just created the entire thing. So now if you run it, and you go like login, like root or something, and like, ooh, nice, log out now, hack user.gov -if port 48 -forced. You're about to hack the government. You should fix that. About to hack the government. Continue, and you can be like yes or no. I'm just gonna say yes, and then like hacking user 0%, 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100%. You gotta make it fail here or something and say, oh no, the cops are coming or something, and then you can like enter and then you go out, and that's it. Now you can modify this to make it look even cooler and do more things, but this is the basic code of getting your things to just display easily in C++ like it's hacking. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and see you all in the next